Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. I'm going to go ahead and call the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. My name is Don Swanker, Supervisor. To my left, Mike Steinis and Lynn Flegel, Supervisors. Bjorn from IT, Lisa from the Auditors. Brittany is on Zoom for the press. And first up, we have visitors and citizens. Is there anybody who would like to address the board today not listed on the agenda?
Josh Bolt.
Hey, Josh Bolt. How are we doing?
Well, thank you. Just checking on status of dispatch agreement, if that is moving forward.
We're still working on it. Last our attorneys and your attorneys were talking and doing stuff.
You guys haven't had a work session yet.
We have not had a work session since then. As far as I know, they're working on it. And
okay.
I thought the status went back to you guys to confirm that employment can be.
Yeah, Maria, our attorney, is working.
Okay.
I just checked if you had a work session yet.
We have not.
October will be here before we know it for budgets. And I'm going to the hospital at noon.
Okay.
For the board meeting, so.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
We will let you know.
That's all I got.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Is there anybody else in the gallery or online? If you're online, please introduce yourself if you'd like to address the board. Hearing none, we'll move on to Beth Gerlach, Jackson County Treasurer. Come on up. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have an abatement request for a mobile home that's building on leased land that had been removed in September of 2023 in Lamont. The assessor's office has asked me to request this because they don't have any assessed value of it since then. And there are some delinquent taxes. They're wanting to delete the parcel, but we can't do that when there's owed taxes that are not going to be collected. Mobile building on leased land does not go to tax sale. Per Iowa code, it can't.
Okay.
So there isn't really any way for us to probably collect from this person anymore. We had another one, I think Caleb B was the same situation. He moved it out of there. There was delinquent taxes.
That's where the new house went up though? Is that in the same general
I
vicinity?
don't really know where it's at specifically, but
So the trailer's gone, person's gone.
trailer's been gone for years.
Okay.
Person's gone. There's some delinquent taxes they probably still owe, but being able to collect those, we really don't have a way to do that, so.
I would make a motion to abate of the real estate tax resolution as presented.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Lynn to approve resolution 1177-04-28-2026, the abatement of tax request on the parcel listed in Lamont. Is that
Resolution number 1177-04-28-2026.
yeah? Good. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Huh?
We don't, the resolutions had not been put on resolution paper yet until they're passed today.
All right, next up, we got Becca from the zoning. Come on up. We have lots to talk
Good
about.
morning.
We do. Good morning.
The item is a preliminary plat for Jackson Estates, a proposed 15-lot major subdivision located in section 12, township 86 north, range 4 east. The property is zoned A1 agriculture. The
You want to pull that up?
The zoning commission held a public hearing on April 20th, 2026, and voted to recommend approval of the preliminary plat to the Board of Supervisors, subject to conditions. Today's action is for the preliminary plat approval only. This establishes the overall layout, and final engineering, utilities, and compliance items will be addressed prior to final plat. The main items identified during review included roadway grade, stormwater and drainage, private road design and maintenance, utilities, and covenant and fencing provisions. Stormwater and drainage were reviewed through the City of Bellevue's extraterritorial review process. Revisions were made to meet the city's requirements. The subdivision ordinance establishes a maximum roadway gradient of 7%. The proposed design exceeds that standard. The applicant has requested a modification and the county engineer has recommended a maximum of 12%. That issue remains for board consideration as part of this approval. The zoning commission also requested additional clarity regarding fencing and covenant provisions, particularly addressing responsibility for existing and future fencing, and those items have been incorporated into the conditions of approval. The recommendation before you is approval of the preliminary plat subject to the conditions attached as Exhibit A. One of the main items for the board's consideration today is the roadway grade. The subdivision ordinance establishes a maximum roadway gradient of 7%. The proposed preliminary plat includes private roadway grades above that standard. The county engineer recommended a maximum roadway grade of 12%, and the zoning commission recommended approval of the 18% roadway grade shown in the submitted plan. Because the proposed grade exceeds the ordinance standard, this is a modification issue for the board to address as part of the preliminary plat approval. If the board is comfortable with the zoning commission's recommendation, the resolution should reflect approval of the preliminary plat subject to the attached conditions, including the roadway grade modification. If approved, the applicant will have 12 months to submit a final plat, and all required improvements must either be completed or secured by surety bond prior to the final plat. Therefore, the recommendation before the board is to approve the Jackson Estates preliminary plat by resolution, subject to the conditions attached as Exhibit A. Those conditions include the zoning commission's recommendation regarding the 18% roadway grade and the fence agreement language discussed at the public hearing.
So is the final road grade 1% or 18%?
The zoning commission recommended to go with the plan, the preliminary plan of 18%. County engineer Jaden recommended 12%.
We have the final authority in our ordinance is 7%.
Correct.
It's 18%. That's
18.
that's
So can you tell me what the grade is of up to Havel Hill?
Yes, so that is, oh, I pulled my letter, it's like 11.2 or something, it's in the 11%.
It was in the paperwork, and also the grade to the Mickle subdivision?
That one I did not check.
I think it was in there.
It was, yeah, 3 got checked, I know where there's 2 county roads and 1 city development.
You did? Was
So the 2 county ones were 407th Avenue that goes up to, we all refer to as Dice Hill. That was right at like 11, maybe right at 11% even. There's a road, it's a gravel road behind the Bellevue Golf Course. I'm drawing a blank on the road number. But the steepest gradient that road had was like right around the 15% range. And then the city of Bellevue, Havel Hill, which I think is called River Ridge Drive, was right around 11% as well. So those are the 3 I measured. I guess I did not measure that road that goes with Mickle.
I think it was addressed in there. I read it.
WHKS provided that at 18.3 to 18.6 for the private drive.
And there's several residences up there also.
that's up on top of the hill, the overlooking Bellevue. Going
That
back.
is, if you go up 7th Street and keep going straight up the hill, it actually come pretty close to bordering Sebring
Yeah,
Ridge if you get up to the back side of it. But
So I just feel like the subdivision ordinance of 7%, given our terrain, especially around this area of the county, is, I mean, pretty tough to get. But I just compared it to some local roads that we have are around that area, I guess. But you're correct, I did not do the Mickle subdivision, but that one is steep as well, which
So,
obviously WHKS
this is on
provided
your
that.
private drive, it's not gonna be county maintained.
Correct, that
right?
is, yes, or that's what's being proposed or recommended, is it be a privately maintained road, not a county maintained one. So there is that to consider as well.
Does anybody have any comment, cause and concern? Pro, con? There's a lot of people online, one gentleman in the gallery. I mean, 18% grade is challenging, but
Yes, this is Eric Todd from WHKS. I can add a little to it. So we were just looking at several streets. So the 12% max comes from the Iowa Design Manual for the maximum steepest grade for local streets, and it's a good recommendation for local streets of 25 mile an hour, in town type street. What we're dealing with here is a private drive. It's a little bit different. Just out of curiosity, we went through Dubuque and picked up a couple of the streets up there, and I think there was about 10 of them that were over 18. And those are 25 mile an hour public streets with cars parked along both sides. But for our situation, I think it should be allowed because, it's a private drive. It's not a through street. It's not going to be open to the public driving through there with cars zipping past. It's only going to be the people that live there on those lots, and they'll be used to it and they'll know how to address the snow issues in the wintertime. And being the Mickles subdivision there is a perfect example. It's basically identical to what we're dealing with here. It's a county subdivision right on the edge of city limits, similar grade. So it'll be a similar situation.
Thoughts, comments from the board?
Not knowing the area, I guess maybe I'd refer to, maybe Mike knows it better. Does it flatten out or does it come down at that 18% all the way down to the like existing roadway or?
Yeah, the 18 is just going up through the bluff areas. It does flatten out for a long distance right before we meet the city street.
So, but the examining board or the zoning board recommended the 18. Was there a reason behind that or logic behind that, or what was the thought process there?
Due to the steep terrain of the area and
Okay.
that it being a
And
private
do it in
drive.
private. That would be my recommendation, or to say the only reason I would agree to that because it is private. We have no liability on it, and
I mean, that was kind of my concern with if it flattens out, that it isn't gonna be washing out or causing, like an accident if we're sliding through an intersection that.
also, if I remember correctly, I wasn't here at that time, but when the Mickle subdivision was put in, I believe I was on the fire department, and we actually tested that drive or that grade with equipment to go up there at that time for safety reasons, and before they approved it. Don't hold me to that, but I remember, I think I was probably on the fire department at that time, and I think the fire department had agreed that they could get their equipment up there, so that was.
I guess we've not really been able to see the property and it's a private, and just thinking as long as they understand the road conditions, that makes, allowances for drainage and stuff.
The part that I really appreciate on this was the basically double engineering, if I understand it right, through the city and to private. So the big thing to me was water retention, because it's come up before in some other places. And from what I looked at the plat, there's 7 retention ponds and drainage, retention water drainage. So that was,
37.
yeah, it was, because actually all that water's coming down there now with no retention. So it's probably be a good thing. So, I guess, so one more question. So when you say preliminary plat, it can go back to who for changes?
Nobody for changes. So
Okay.
you're recommending the preliminary plat
Be approved.
be approved, yeah. The only things they need to then are just fine tune the covenants, the roadway agreement.
And I believe I read the covenants that also addressed the fencing issue, correct?
Correct. The zoning commission wanted that clarified though, and so we have put that down as a condition, that and they wanted it recorded, which.
We have one other subdivision with fencing issues.
Yes. So, in the covenants, it's already recorded. We will have it also recorded fence agreement. It will address existing and proposed boundary fencing and shall assign fence maintenance responsibility to the adjoining landowner and the HOA or other subdivision-wide responsible entity rather than individual lot owners. It will just clean up that process a little bit.
Thoughts of the board?
I would make a motion to approve resolution 117804 28-2026, preliminary plat of Jackson County Estates, Jackson Estates. Subdivision in Jackson County.
I would second that.
We got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve resolution 1178-04 28-2026, a resolution to approve the preliminary plat of the Jackson Estates, a major subdivision in Jackson County. Any other discussion? Online or in the gallery? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know it was a process and
Have a good day.
appreciate it. Thank the zoning board too, will you?
I will, yes, thank you. Thank you, Brian.
All right. Moving on, we have Jaden Shekel from the county engineer's office. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. First item is discussion about an entrance culvert at the address of 8802 267th Street. And the property owner, Adam, is here as well in attendance. So a couple weeks ago, he contacted our office about a culvert issue, his driveway culvert that's having issues. It's deteriorating on the bottom. It's creating scourels at the top of the driveway. I met with him last week and looked at it, and it is a large culvert is of a larger size compared to your typical driveways that are say 18 to 24 inch. This one is a 60-inch culvert. It's in a rather deep fill area. But regardless, I looked at it with him. Fortunate for him, I guess, is that the culvert is outside the right of way. And then our entrance policy does state that any maintenance to driveways, including the drainage structures, are the responsibility of the landowner. I just said that, my recommendation is the county has no responsibility for it, for any repair or maintenance of it. But, as far as the landowner perspective, I'll let Adam speak for that. It's probably 100 feet long.
It's right, it's a little over 60 feet long. Sorry, Adam Besham, property owner. It's a little over 60 feet long, and like Jaden says, diameter size is 60-inch, considering most are 18, 24-inch. I do have some pictures I can provide if you guys care to look at them quick.
I would.
Sure.
We got some pictures from Jaden.
Yeah, he did.
These are they're all the same. I'm full aware of the policy where it's outside of the right of way, property owner's responsibility stuff, in which I did contact the county approximately 6 years ago before this was policy took effect, according to what me and Jaden came up with. As you can tell in the pictures, if the culvert possibly were any closer to the road, the rainwater that comes down would be washing away the road bank at the time. And on the upper side of the driveway, it is a fairly good sized retention area. But out of the 8 years that I've lived at this residence, water has been over my driveway twice with that size of pipe already. So as I met with Jaden, I'm not asking or demanding the county to replace it for me. I'm simply asking for help from the county in replacing it. Since it is a rather larger size, pretty expensive, and it's more cost than an average homeowner would have to endure themselves. Which if it was a normal size, I would gladly do it myself, but I'm simply either asking a few different things, I guess go back 1 second. Jaden told me one reason the policy was implemented into place was because too many pipes were getting replaced by the county, that it was kind of taking up too much time for the workers to be maintaining roads or doing other stuff that they needed to focus on more, which I appreciate. But one of my things I'd recommend is either the county supply me with the pipe and I will put it in on my time, my dollar that way. Or I buy the pipe, county buy the backfill, Or I buy the pipe, the county puts it in, but the county put it in, then you're cutting in your man hours, your time and stuff like that, so.
So do we maintain, the right of way out there, again? The 33 feet is outside of, look like the main water flow.
Yeah, and Adam is correct. The reason why it is so far out is because if it were closer to the road, I don't know if the picture's there, you have.
You can see the water.
Almost need intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just such a steep embankment that if it were closer, it'd be, yeah, like you said, down a vertical drop off, so that's part of the reason why it's out that way.
And the double culvert, where's the other culvert go to?
So on the lower side of the driveway, there is one county culvert coming across from the south side of the road to the north side of the road where this mine, where my water exits out of. The double culverts coming across the road are a little farther to the west of my driveway.
Would this have been a sizing issue back when this was put in, where maybe it was undersized compared to the water flow issue?
I don't think there's anything, no issues regarding size of the culvert. And I could actually, I have not, but I could run hydraulic calcs on it to see what size would be recommended. There could be for
I was
better
gonna
or
say,
worse.
that's gonna be my question.
You know,
Question for you, is it the right size culvert for what's
for the
going on
amount of
there?
flow that's coming.
According to
down.
Jaden, what he came up with was there's approximately 180 acres that drain down through this ditch.
Yeah, and it's all primarily from
Can
the
you
south side.
Hand
of
to
the
your left. Yep, a little more, keep going. So right below your mouse there, right below that tree, there's two 60-inch culverts that come across the road from the south side of the road. And then the water flows to the north side and then comes down to the east, down across my single culvert.
So there's two 16-inch culverts that dump
Right-
into that
right there
ditch,
where he's
and it
supposed
goes
to be.
under his driveway?
Yeah, which I
And I
know.
doubt your tube is 120 inches, which,
And I know it may seem like, why does the road have two 60 inches, but the driveway is one? That's honestly not uncommon, just because for roadway guidelines, any cross road tubes are supposed to be designed for the 50-year storm, and then residential entrances or any entrance drainage structures are generally can be designed for down to the 10-year storm. Not to say they can't be sized also for the 50-year storm, but that may mean other driveways get large tubes and just following DOT guidelines. But that's kind of the reason why the roadway crossroad tubes are larger than the driveway tubes, because ultimately if water backs up, it's going to overtop the driveway, and we don't want the chances of overtopping our roadway as. I'm stating that correctly. We just want less of a chance of overtopping the roadway as opposed to say driveways.
well,
But
Like I said, I mean, I'm not demanding or asking the county to fully replace it all. I'm just simply asking for some help for the sheer size of the diameter that I have versus a normal person.
So here's my thoughts. Just because of the slope of the, what do you call the forest slope? Is that what you're calling the forest slope? The forest slope looks so steep, and that's why that waterway is back so far. Somehow I feel that it's some part of our responsibility. And then the other side of it is, I understand our policy, which is not our responsibility. Again, but then once you open the can of worms, then we're opening the can of worms. But again, I'm somewhat sympathetic to the fact that there's a lot of water comes down there with the 260 inches going under the.
I also have, like I said, I also have a letter here from back in 2020 when I first approached the county about this situation, and I believe that was before the policy, I mean, was fully implemented.
That was from our previous engineer. You attached that with your.
correct, yep, that's that letter, yep. So I just wanted to bring it forward. Adam and I had a civil conversation. I mean, everything was good, but just, from our department side of things, we have the policy.
if we were to help, what would you recommend? Because honestly, I think a hydraulic study would look at it, because, we can say, the roadways are braced for a 50-year flood, and, the driveways are braced for, average rainfall kind of stuff, but 50-year floods are like every other year anymore, it seems like. I mean, where we're getting 3 to 5, 6, 7 inches dumped in a night. So if you got 120 inches draining across the street and you got water coming down the ditch, if it meets well, how big's the pipe, 18 inches or?
Right now, it's a 60-inch pipe.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's a constriction point and it's gonna start undermining the floor slope a little bit. I would just like to see on a
Well,
case by case basis a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
How
It's actually undermined, you can see with it undermined
Yeah.
the bottom of it already.
I mean, we did do something, what if we dug it and the rest,
If we were to do anything, I
the
guess
rest is on you,
I would
you know?
propose that we have our labor, basically labor and equipment to dig it, and the Adam or the property owner provides
The pipe.
the pipe.
Okay, so
pipe and
that was my
then
next
backfill
question.
if
Are we
needed.
capable of installing that side of pipe?
Yes.
I mean, that would be my thing, if we're, again. I hate to go away from what our policy is, but
And that's why I kind of brought this forward, just because, you know, I understand it's from a property owner's perspective. I mean, it's a big task, and we have our policy. That's why I just want to bring it here. We together jointly wanted to bring it to you three for discussion, or what you three thought is the proper way to go about this.
But again, like I said, I would, if I was gonna propose something, I would propose that we supply the manpower with our equipment to dig it. Any backfill piping would be on you. Okay, so then we're not actually we're in a way following our policy, we're not incurring any outside expense
Mhm.
to cover. Yes, we're accruing the labor hours and quote wear and tear on our equipment, but
I guess one thing I would like to see is make sure we do a study so it works, because what I don't want is to have a solution, what we think, and then it not work, and then there's a big fee. I would, you know, I don't know your abilities, I don't know what you do, you know, so many times I hear, well, get me in the grader, I'll put a crown on the road, I've been doing it. You've been working, you know, they've never had experience, so I don't know what you got for knowing how to lay a pipe.
I work for an excavation company.
Okay, you know, so it's just, I don't want the average person just trying to put a pipe in and say, well, this didn't work, you guys made me blah. I would like to make sure it's at least under some kind of standards that it's agreed upon, this is an appropriate solution, and then we can come up with what digging what out, you know. That's my only thing is,
This water flow you're showing here, is that recently? Like
Yes, I was-
2-inch rain or 3
Yeah,
inch?
just when we had the rain a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I think it was like a Friday night, we had a fairly heavy downpour rain, and then we had like a 2-hour break, and then all of a sudden we had another one right
Yeah.
after that.
Just so, like you say, it's sufficient for what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and that's why part of our entrance permit, you know, we want driveways to have that low spot, because say in the
Yeah.
scenario, because culverts are not designed for the 100-year storm, otherwise they'd be outrageously sized. But
Right.
if you have that low point, it gives a chance for that water, if it were to build up where the culvert can't handle that flow, as the water builds up, it allows a relief, if you will, for that water, as opposed to draining over top our roadway.
Do you have any idea the age of this current? Older than us, or older than you? not-
Older than me, probably.
Not older.
take my.
Older than me. So is this something that, on the agenda, you have a resolution to amend the secondary? Is it more of a variance to the or policy, or is this a resolution?
No, so this
So
is.
that's a different one,
Yeah, you're
okay.
jumping.
so basically you're looking for us to say, yeah, work something out.
Yeah, or yes, so I basically want, so that way it's not, or how do I want to word that? Basically,
You want it on you, you want it on us.
yeah, there you go. But I mean, I understand both scenarios, but just we felt like the proper ways to bring it forward.
No, I can see both sides. of
Under
it.
I would say there's some special circumstances that are in play here that we can cooperate and come up with a feasible solution.
Mhm.
And make sure we get it taken care of, because again, if it starts backing or stuff like that, it can actually affect the roadway a little bit more than.
So is it left that you're gonna do maybe a hydraulic study to see
Well,
and then
hydraulic
see what's
study to-
sufficient and then maybe come back with another recommendation, or how do you wanna do it? Or just
However,
continue to go ahead?
I mean, I'll do a hydraulic study, and see what it would carry, or what based on the 10-year design storm, what is the proper size of pipe that would have to be?
Can I make a motion? I
I don't-
I don't think it's an action item.
Yeah.
No, but I would say just proceed with the,
So depending on the hydraulic study, it could possibly need a bigger one, you're saying, type 2 or what?
Possibly or two.
And, or there could be some, if, say if it does require to be larger. then
Box
that-
culvert.
I hope not. Depending storm, I'd like to
For help here.
I'd like to believe it wouldn't require to be bigger, but say in the event it would, maybe that's just something that. Say it would require to be a 72 or maybe, let's say 66 inch. Maybe would property owner be fine with the 60 inch, knowing that there's a better chance that water may overtop. That
Yeah.
it may, and if water overtops, there's a chance it could wash off the top of the driveway, but how often does that happen? Who knows? But like to your
Well,
point. it
I guess
happens
I would like to say if we're gonna help and assist.
Mhm.
We come up with what you do a study and your recommendation. If there's deviation from that. Here in final, this is the one solution that we did, you're on your own. Cause if we recommend a 66 and you're probably like, no, I want a 60 and all that, and it washes out again, it's like, well. I'm gonna say that adage, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of thing comes into play. So, that's where. That'd be the one thing is,
And I believe, I would think of 60, because I mean, that water backing up those pictures, I mean, but it's never.
yeah, that ain't half full.
I just feel like based on.
Like I
From,
said,
I know you
Twice,
haven't
twice
looked,
in 8 years, it's been over the driveway.
but I mean, just based on recent events, I feel like it's properly sized, it's just like.
maybe it wasn't seeded correctly because the way it's eating back around and coming up on the,
Well,
but-
once once it's deteriorated, it starts under, or if
Yeah.
water gets a path underneath and it starts and continues, so that's probably what's causing it.
Yeah, whether that needs some riprap or whatever, but one bad apple makes another bad apple.
Luckily,
No, I would say move forward with the solution. You guys are logical and. If you need to bring it back for approval of some kind,
Yeah,
we'll see what we can do.
I can bring it forward on the agenda next week, it won't take me.
I would say.
This week to get it.
We would assist in some way.
I appreciate your time.
You bet.
Reach out to me or something then.
Yeah, do you have an email by chance?
I can write down.
Okay, yep.
All right, Jaden, what else you got?
Next up is a fiscal year or a revision to the fiscal year 27 5-year program. So from our recent grants that have been awarded, one being our CHVP grant regarding the 578th Avenue Bridge, and then also the City of Monmouth's Bridge on West Street, or what Ohio is considered 12th Avenue. From those grants, it changes, the project numbers need to change from how they were programmed. So I'm talking with the DOT, even though it's just changed the project number, it does take a revision. There's no change to funding, nothing get moved around as far as year. It's simply just changing the project number to match the appropriate funding that is getting allocated to it from the grants. So that's what this revision or resolution or program revision is.
I'd make the motion to approve.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve resolution 1179-04-28-2026. A resolution to amend the secondary road construction program. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next but not least is item from, that carried over from last week, entrance permit for Burt Rowan. It's a residential entrance on 261st Avenue, Perry Township, section 14. Our department has done the site distance checks. Everything's good there. It does require a 24-inch culvert that is noted on there. So pretty straightforward. So our department recommends approval.
So moved.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the residential entrance permit for Burt Rowan, Perry Township, section 14 on 261st Street. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Give an update on the Z15 bridge, just because Channelworth Bridge is kind of in a standstill with the river levels fluctuating here at higher than normal, so it's hard for them to continue here. But Z15, I think last week, I remember right, I believe the pier encasements were poured for the south pier last week. Well, in the last week, they've driven the pier for the south abutment and are getting ready to pour that south abutment either today or tomorrow. So moving along real well on that.
I looked at it, looks good. I hear no complaints, so again,
Not yet anyway, huh?
with gain comes a little pain.
Well, they're
As
moving.
time goes on.
They're moving along. Yeah, I couldn't be happier with the progress that's being made there.
Awesome.
Oh, and I did have a pre-con last week for our Bernard Road overlay.
Mhm.
That is scheduled to start June 1st. They'll first we're putting in longitudinal subdrain, so 4-inch subdrain on each end of the road, each side of the road through the project length. So that'll be done first. They estimate about a week for that, so sometime that, whether that be the first full week in June or the second week in June, sometime in there is actually when the paving will start, so. Looking forward to that. We're gonna be busy real fast.
So that road will never be closed, it'll only be passable, is that correct or no?
It'll be closed for the sections they pour, because they're gonna pour or pave it full width. Include both lanes and the
Okay.
paved shoulder all in one shot.
Okay,
I'm assuming they're gonna start from the Crabtown Bridge and work their way
towards south.
to the south, since the plant is being set up in Rockdale, so it only makes sense to work towards the plant. But
So the property owners, they are aware of all that, so they.
they will be in, luckily
They'll
with the.
have an out,
There's a couple businesses.
obviously.
Yeah, they'll be, so as part of any plan with like the contractor has to provide temporary access, so basically I shouldn't say temporary access, but means to get out, so they'll provide, like, and I know in the past, contractors have provided golf carts to the residents to live along there, to drive along the edge of the new slab to get to where the road closure limits are. Because as paving moves on, they'll open up say the first day they pour, it may only be the next day or 2 days later, they'll open that up and pave the next stretch.
To a weight limit restriction yet, though.
No.
The cure time is.
I thought you said it was 7 days.
No, with overlay, it's actually gonna be less, because the opening strength required for concrete overlays is less than new pavements on grade, and I think that's due to, there's an existing base underneath their flexural strength, whereas a new pavement, it's got rock subbase underneath, so there's more room for it to flex. But by
Okay.
DOT spec, it's a less flexural strength needed for opening, so
So
there's a chance it could be the next day to get on it.
We don't want another sign.
Possibly.
Be dry.
Yes, and it depends on how it cures, weather conditions, all that, but they'll have probes in the pavement for maturity to check. To validate there's a maturity curve for it that they'll put the probes in, it'll give them a certain reading and they'll base it on that chart to see where they're at for strength. So, I mean, there's all numbers to back it up, but ultimately, no, it will not be 7 days. They should be able to get on the slab within 2 days. I mean, on a normal
There's a
paving.
lot of activity close to that bridge, I would say.
Yeah,
What's that?
There's a lot of activity that's close to that bridge, so they better be well aware of it.
Yeah, and we'll talk with that property owner, because actually the true overlay will actually not go all the way to the bridge, because when that
Okay.
Crabtown Bridge and that triple box culvert that's there,
Yeah.
that's only been 20 years ago, so that existing pavement is only 20 years old, it's not that bad of shape, so we're gonna tie in where that new pavement at that time tied in, we're gonna do some patching on those.
We have active quarry in there yet too?
Yep. So, but yeah, that property right there by the bridge should have better access than everybody else on the road, just due to where our paving limits will tie into.
Just make sure that they're aware.
Yep. But yeah, so that's coming up soon, so, or it'll be here
Yeah,
before we
that's-
know it.
awesome. Anything else for us?
What did I have?
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just a generic
Yeah.
question for you. Like, so this driveway permit that we approved has a culvert in it. We do check that if a ditch needs dug out,
Correct. Yeah,
that we're doing that before versus them laying the culvert and then we come back in 3 years from now and go, oh, the ditch needs dug out and.
yeah, because as part of that, if it does need ditching for that to better fit or to drain properly, yes, I know in the past we have done that, and we still do that is our duty yet to do that to this
Okay.
day, so.
I just want to make sure that
So that, yeah, the culvert isn't placed basically
where the ditch is now and that's all silted in and then we're saying it's their responsibility to redo it again, type of deals.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good, have a good day.
Yep.
Thank you.
You three as well.
Last up is the auditor.
Good morning. This morning, I need a motion to approve the April 22nd, 2026 meeting minutes as written by Auditor Smith and authorize publication in the official newspapers.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve the minutes of the April 21st, 2026 meeting as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in official newspapers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I can tell you that the next item that happened is an alcohol license was applied for to the Zwingle Recreation Association back in March. And I received a phone call yesterday and wanted to know why we haven't approved it. And I said, because we haven't received it. She said, but she's gotten a letter from the state of Iowa that says that they sent it to you back in March, and why haven't you approved it? And I said, because we don't have it. So in looking at the application, it was actually sent to the city of Zwingle instead of to Jackson County. So I called the state last night. They need this license approved. And it's been sitting not with Jackson County, but with the city of Zwingle. So I called the state last night. They still haven't sent it to me for approval. But today I am going to ask for a motion to approve the renewal of the special class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to the Zwingle Recreation Association at 28361 194th Avenue, Zwingle, effective May 3rd, 2026 through May 2nd, 2027.
Can we retro it back to previous date or no?
Well, I mean, their license is expiring.
Okay.
On May 3rd.
So it's actually expiring May 2nd of 2026. I believe they probably have an activity.
Yeah.
Is this in the city limits or is this?
It's
in-
No.
Okay.
So that's why I think that there was an error at the state. They told me when I talked to them last night that they were gonna get it taken care of. Well, it still isn't, but
So,
we need to get
okay.
this.
Do they still have, then they have a new mayor, but do they still have a city clerk that gets that or who?
Oh,
who gets
well,
that?
I think they've had some turnover and I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how that happened, but I know that
Okay.
when I receive stuff, I right away tell the state that we are not the authorized person, so
I would move to approve.
thank you.
I would second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the renewal of a special class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Zwingle Recreation Association at 28361 194th Avenue, Zwingle, effective May 3rd, 2026 through May 2nd, 2027. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
This next item is a little bit. I'd like to tell you more. Unfortunately, I don't. We received an email from Elizabeth Kemp at ECIA. I'm being told that this needs to be done every 5 years. That it has to do with Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority and them being able to access some funds and to do projects. I saw in some of the email, it was Bellevue Preston Miles, I believe.
200 pages.
Exactly. So, I mean, we did it back in 2020, I believe, and I believe, in my opinion, it's appropriate that we pass a resolution today. I did contact Elizabeth. She unfortunately is out of the office. I briefly spoke with Matt Speck from ECIA. And so today, what I'm asking for is to approve resolution number 1180-04-28-2026. Authorizing Jackson County to accept responsibility for Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority environmental review record. I don't really know what that means, but I know that we did it 5 years ago.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve resolution 1180-04-28-2026, authorizing Jackson County to accept a responsibility for the Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority environmental review record. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then because you've just passed this resolution, I just need a motion to approve and authorize chair signature on the HUD Capital Funds Program, Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority Certification Form. And this is something that I will be there, this motion and the next, I will be emailing all of these to Elizabeth, so it is on file.
I'd make that motion.
I would second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve chair signature on the HUD CFP EIRHA Public Housing Certification Form. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the final motion is to approve and authorize chair signature on the Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority Environmental Review Record Form.
So moved.
Second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve chair signature on the HUD CRP Capital Fund Program. Is it CFP or CRP?
It is it should be CFP. not
CFP.
It is CF.
Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority Environmental Review Record. Any other discussion? Is this the money they use to kind of fix up rental properties and stuff?
I think so.
With the lead painting.
I think so.
All those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all that I have for the board today. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any committees or anything for the board?
Early childhood, we met yesterday. We are looking at possibly. As we know, our director is resigning. As of yet, they haven't gotten any applications for a new director. We're entertaining the motion of possibly. And this is kind of what the state is wanting, and as an organization as a whole, there's several different organizations that are looking at doing little kind of small, either submerging or kind of a mutual agreement where maybe you have one authority that handles the money, but yet you still have your separate board. So like Clinton Jackson would still have their separate board. We're looking at neighboring counties, so whether it would be Cedar and Jones, who are also an ECI area, or if we go with Dubuque and have them be our fiscal agent for this, but we're entertaining the motions as far as what would work for a partnership. Since a lot of us use the same contracting agents to get the funds out, that it might be a worthwhile look at doing. So that's a big thing with them. We were notified that the state hasn't moved forward with obviously totally taking it over. It's another reason why we're looking at it, because it's like, if this comes up in a year, do you hire somebody for a year? Type of deal. So, and they're keeping the same funding.
So it's not forced consolidation, but it's kind of forced consolidation.
In a way, yeah. But at least we're kind of maybe getting to pick what, because one of our concerns is when you go with the big territory like mental health did, and you have a lot of major cities in them territories, it's a lot easier to see clients in the cities, as we all know, than in the rural communities. And funds can get ate up really quick they can see 20 people by putting all the money here in the city versus in the rural community where, you'll maybe only get to see 5 with the same amount of money being spent. So we're trying to, in a way, keep it so that the rural communities are still having access to these things that are needed, because it's definitely a major need to make sure that the children of Clinton and Jackson County are taken care of.
Good. The WMA, we did meet, and since we met last, we're advertising for a replacement for our director. We have got one application, and so we're pretty stoked at the quality of the application, but we're still waiting a couple more weeks to see. So things are progressing, so we should be able to do something. Transfer station?
I'm not gonna work. Expecting to get an update, and I just asked for one, so I don't have nothing at this point.
Also, Iris met last week. One of their big things is we're not necessarily following the contract agreement that was signed back in, I don't remember, before Jackson County is not meeting the contract agreement that was signed before my time sitting on this board.
How?
In the agreement, it states that a delinquent
bill
would be as they bring it back for the tax asking to be placed.
They want the citizens of Jackson County to pay someone's delinquent sewer bill.
So
That's what the agreement states.
that's what the agreement
And
states.
we've fought this for years. Because some of these bills, unfortunately, we have no control over. Jackson County has no control over any of that. And they are asking Jackson County, when we bring these resolutions forward with all of these delinquent payments, they want you and the citizens of Jackson County to approve that, and then we would have to budget money and send it to ECIA/IRIS for that delinquent bill.
We went through this several times, so, you know, they initiated the whole project, they took care of it, so we said, you know, it's your responsibility, so.
Yeah, I don't feel the taxpayers of Jackson County need to subsidize without potential, you know, you can open a can of worms as you want, but if we're gonna pay delinquent taxes, then we should own it. You know, type
So
of thing, cause
that was a-
it's,
Point to expedite sheriff's sale. We tried to do that also.
The thing that makes this unique is that if you look in a very parallel, we had the water situation over at Spruce Creek. That's easy. You don't pay your water bill, they shut your water off. You
Yeah.
can't do that with the septic system. So this is very unique, and I don't know, because this was this the first, what I would call not a public system where it, you know, connects into a public, like a city. You know, I know that there are some cities that.
There's some
have
cities,
systems,
ours is
but this
a,
is like a standalone system, so to
Right.
speak, if that's a way to put that, I'm not really sure.
yeah,
So this is very unique, and I'm not sure if they thought about the potential here.
honestly, I think you should go back on the association, the Leisure Lake Association versus the citizens of Jackson County. I mean,
just moving forward, because my one recommendation in looking back, so, you know, I kind of dug into it a little bit. And looking back at some of the delinquencies that are out there. There's a few residents, it's the same people time after time, and they wait until the point that it's ready to go to sheriff's sale, and then we come in that week before, we pay it off, and we move forward. Well, Iris was also charging a very minimal fee for their late fees. So our meeting got very heated up because I propose, if, you know, times of just the paperwork that is needed to track all this, you know, I think they were charging a $10 or $15 late fee. Well, the paperwork for the person to track all this, they're getting paid more than that,
mhm.
you know, so it's actually passed that all delinquent bills coming from Iris now will have a $50 late fee charge on them.
I
So
will tell you
hopefully-
that Shelley is in the process of mailing out letters to everybody that has these delinquents, and we're letting them know that this will be put on tax sale. So Shelley and I ran over the weekend, we were working, and she showed me the letter and I approved it. So, I mean, we're letting people know, you don't pay this bill, we will be sending, it will be on the tax sale.
Right.
So,
So,
I mean, unfortunately, there are some situations that I argued right from the beginning. There was no way that we would ever have to pay this because they were assessing someone that had passed away. And we had some issues with a couple of them. So, I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents, is that I think that this resolution, this agreement was passed many years ago, and that it wasn't really thoroughly, in my opinion, it was not brought forth to you supervisors to.
I think
To
it was
know
a
what you're
little run
signing
at
for.
that time when it was in kind of a project, you know, and obviously it was a needed project up there. The waste was going into the lake, for God's sake, so.
right.
The point is, you know, whether USDA, whether it be IRS, whether whoever, wasn't originated like it should have been. Or delinquent, if that's what you call it, though. I think it's all gonna work out. We've been through it before, and, yeah.
Cool. Anything else for the good of the board?
Discussion is all. Yes.
If there's no further business, I'd make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that.
Motion by Mike, second by Nin to adjourn. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine.